summary types question, and we are actually going to be making an analysis of how to go about these question types. Now, this is obviously a PDF file in which you will find some methods through which you can actually go through the summary types question. Now, there are many ways through which you can attempt, but then I just wanted to show you one of the methods. You may choose to follow this, and you can also follow some of your own methods. Whatever you feel like, that is up to you, but this is a method that I would like to suggest. Now, according to the author, what he has written, and for those of you who are interested in knowing which book this is the Verbal Abilities book by Sujit Kumar. I already have shared it in the Telegram community. You can take a look at that from the Telegram community itself. So SK says that how to solve a summary types question. Now, first of all, we'll understand that I'll read out what he has written. Writing the summary of a paragraph is not a difficult task if one remembers the methodology discussed during high school compositions. Now, in CAT, the task is made easier in the multiple choice format. This was this book was written a couple of years ago, but the pattern for the summary type question has been the same. It has not really drastically changed, and they will give you a passage and then they'll be followed with 4 options. Pretty much you know what the drill is. Now, I will just read out the underlining aspect which I have done here just to make certain things clear. The instruction to summary questions are very clear. Choose the option that best captures the essence of the text. Now, this is very important. Essence. What is essence? Essence of the text implies that a person who has no access to the paragraph but only to the summary precis must understand. So this is basically the precis. Okay, you can call it preci also, depends upon your lingo. You can call it a preci or a precis, whatever. Now, the person must understand the same thing that another person understood by reading the entire text, and that is precisely the meaning of a precis or a preci. Okay, now let's directly jump into the methods that the author has recommended. All right, so I'll only focus on the methodology that the author has recommended. The author recommends reading the paragraph at least 3 times. Now, this is again something which is very subjective. If you want to read it 3 times is very subjective, because I would say that try out this thing. So point of view is you have to read it out 3 times before going into the options. Do not work backwards. Please never read the options, and that is one of the cases. Do not read the options to the paragraph. The purpose for the 3 readings are: the first reading is to be familiar with the given text. Okay, if you are not in a hurry and if you have decided that I might leave out one reading comprehension passage and you just want to see what my accuracy level is for this particular summary types question, you can just do the first reading to be familiar with the given text. Now, the second reading is to identify the key elements. These are typically, I would like to call them the ideas, or in certain cases also the arguments. So you just need to make a list of those ideas or arguments that are present in the passage. If at all you are very much familiar with it, in the first read you will understand whether you are familiar with it or not. If you are very much aware of the context, then and there you should go about it. But if you are not very much convinced, then might as well you would want to come back at it. But because you have already done the reading once, you can at that point maybe go to the option. So this is something that I am adding on. During the paper pencil practice, it was easy because obviously you could have underlined those key elements, but obviously that is not possible in our case because it has changed. So in an online test, you just need to mentally register the key elements. The third reading is to consolidate the earlier 2 readings. So we will have to consolidate what we are reading, and you make sure that the points that you have identified are actually the key elements that you have not missed. Now, this is very important because the option choices will typically be given in such a way that either one way you will get all the 3, 4 number of ideas or arguments that are there in the passage, or it will distort the ideas. Now I'll tell you how they do that, but I would rather read what the author has said than to give my own personal anecdote. So let's read what the author has said. The author says, go to the options only after this. Remember, all the 4 or 5 option needs to be evaluated. The ideal preci may not be present in the options. The ideal preci may not be present in the options. Hence, it becomes a game of comparison. Read each option and notice the communication of each option. How one option may be deficient, a very important word, in comparison to other. The deficiency may be a distortion of the idea presented in the passage, saying much less or more than what is stated, completely missing out on an important idea. This is the most critical thing, that the option choice may be completely missing out on an important idea or the key element, or an overstatement of what is stated in the text. By comparing the options carefully for the strengths and flaws of each option, choose the one that captures the essence of the text. Though the high school preci insists on retaining the hierarchy of points in the text and even stipulate maximum number of words, the hierarchy of the points in the number of words can be ignored in multiple choice format. Hence, do not look at the length of the options and to shortlist the likely answer. Compare all the options one against the other, eliminate the deficient one, establish the difference between likely answers, and choose the best option for your answer. Okay, now this is an example. We'll not look into the example. We'll take a SimCat and see whether we can apply this strategy. Okay, so let me take you to the passage itself. This is the passage, and I hope you can see that. Okay, so let me give you the options. So this is option number A, this is option number B, this is option number C, and this one is option number D. This is the summary, this is the paragraph of which we need to design the summary. Let's read it. Strange to say, technology, although of course the product of man, tend to develop by its own laws and principles, and these are very different from those of human nature or living nature in general. Nature always, so to speak, knows when, where and when to stop. There is a measure in all natural things, in their size, speed or violence. As a result, the system of nature of which man is a part tend to be self-balancing. Not so with man dominated by technology and specialization. So we are typically looking at some sort of a technology and then comparing that technology with that of a human nature. All right. Let's read ahead. Not so with man dominated by technology and specialization. Technology recognizes no self-limiting principle in terms, for instance, of size, speed or violence. It therefore does not possesses the virtue of being self-balancing, self-adjusting or self-cleansing. All right. So because technology recognizes no self-limiting principle, therefore it does not possesses the virtue of being self-balancing, adjusting and cleansing. Let's read the options, because we mota have understood this is a comparison of technology with that of a human nature and human beings as a typical example type. So let's read the first option. Technology grows by its own rules, unlike nature, which is self-balancing system of which man is also a part, until when he acts under the influence of technology. Now this is totally distorting the idea. Technology grows by its own rules. No, I don't think so that anything of that sort has been mentioned. Though by nature man tends to be self-balancing, he can turn into something that recognizes no self-limiting principle under the influence of technology. This is also extrapolating on the idea that technology by recognizes no self-balancing, but it is not that there is no menace of the technology through which a man becomes or man gets influenced. Technology tends to develop by its own laws without self-limiting principle of size, speed or violence, unlike nature whose laws are self-balancing, adjusting and cleansing. Alright, keep it for the timing. In the self-balancing system of nature, technology and in particular the super technology of modern world act like a foreign body. What is the super technology of the modern world? This is giving you something which is out of the box. So with that, I think C is a better contender, but still I would like to evaluate. So far the first priority goes to C, but then I just want to evaluate A and B once again. technology grow by its own rule. Okay, nature always know there when to technology recognize. Not so with man dominated by technology and specialized. As a result, the system of nature of which man is a part tends to be self-balancing. Not so with man dominated by technology and specialization. Okay, this is an important word. Technology recognizes no self-limiting presence in terms of instance and this and that. The virtue of being self-balancing, adjusting. Though by nature man tend to be self-balancing, he can turn into something that recognizes no self-limiting principle under the influence of technology. This is just one of the aspects that is given in the passage, but I don't see why B can be a better summary or an essence. In the essence, technology tends to develop by its own laws without a self-limiting principle of size, speed, or violence, unlike nature whose laws are self-balancing, adjusting, and cleansing. So that for that, I think most of the ideas or the key elements are present in C. So I would want to go with C. Okay, I would like to check my answer as well. And yeah, so the answer is option number 3, that is option C itself. Okay. Now the explanation, I will not look at the explanation. If you want, you can take a screenshot, you can read the explanation. I think my explanation was more or less the same in tandem with what they have said. All right, so that would be all from my side for this particular video. I hope you learned something new for summary types question. Thank you.